In chapter 4 of Genesis, we shift our focus to the story of Cain and Abel, exploring a deeper understanding of their lineage and the implications of their actions. This chapter reveals significant spiritual and moral themes that echo throughout the Bible. To start, we observe that Cain's genealogy is distinct from Adam's. This distinction becomes evident in how Cain is treated within the text, particularly regarding his father. The verse reads, "And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived, and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord." Yet, Cain is not included in Adam's direct genealogy, leading to the interpretation that Cain's lineage might differ from that of Adam's. This is a vital point to explore as we look at why Cain might not be part of Adam's genealogical line. In Hebrew, the word again, referring to Eve giving birth to Abel, suggests continuity, implying that Cain and Abel may have been twins. However, these twins were not identical, as they were conceived from different fathers. This concept, known as superfetation, suggests that Eve bore twins, with Cain being fathered by the serpent, Satan, and Abel by Adam. This would explain why Cain is not listed in Adam's genealogy. As we delve into the spiritual and moral contrasts between Cain and Abel, we note their differing offerings to the Lord. Cain brought the fruit of the ground as his offering, but there is no indication that he gave the best of his crops or offered his gift with love or devotion. On the other hand, Abel, a keeper of sheep, offered the firstlings of his flock and the fat thereof, a clear demonstration of his love and devotion to God by giving the best he had. This stark difference in attitude and heart is why the Lord had respect unto Abel and his offering, while Cain's offering was rejected. Cain's reaction to his offering being rejected was intense. His countenance fell, reflecting his inner turmoil and anger. God, seeing this, confronted Cain, asking why he was angry and explaining that if he did well, he would be accepted. However, God also warned Cain that if he did not do well, sin lieth at the door. This marks the beginning of the deeper conflict between good and evil, represented by the seed of the woman, those loyal to God, and the seed of the serpent, those following Satan's ways. Cain's anger eventually led him to murder his brother Abel. This act of fratricide was the first murder in human history and marked the beginning of a spiritual war between good and evil. Cain's actions symbolized the deep-rooted conflict between the offspring of righteousness, Abel, and the offspring of evil, Cain. To further understand this conflict, we turn to the words of Jesus in Matthew 23:33, where he addresses the Pharisees. "Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell?" Here, Jesus is referring to those who carry the spiritual lineage of Cain, the generation of vipers, who embody the characteristics of their father, Satan. The serpentine nature refers to their deceitful and murderous ways, just as Cain murdered Abel. In 1 John 3:11-12, we are reminded that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one and slew his brother. This further confirms that Cain was of Satan's lineage, spiritually and morally, as he followed the path of evil and rebellion against God. The hatred Cain had for his brother stemmed from the fact that his own works were evil and his brother's righteous. Finally, we turn to John 8:44, where Jesus declares, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning." This verse directly links Cain to Satan, the father of lies and the first murderer. Cain, being of Satan's seed, inherited his father's nature, deception, rebellion, and murder. From Cain, this corrupt lineage continued throughout history, opposing God's righteous seed. In conclusion, the story of Cain and Abel represents much more than a simple sibling rivalry. It symbolizes the ongoing battle between the forces of good and evil, between the children of God and the offspring of Satan. Cain, being of Satan's seed, acted according to his nature, while Abel, being of the righteous seed, offered himself fully to God. This ancient struggle continues throughout the Bible, with the ultimate victory belonging to Christ, the true seed of the woman, who crushes the serpent's head and brings salvation to all who believe.